Hi, my name is Rob Bean, and I'm a partner and senior marketing strategist with Refactored. Today, I'm going to talk with you about our web accelerator for Storyblok, which is a website framework to advance website initiatives when you're moving to headless CMS. So basically, Storyblok with our website accelerator helps deliver a best practices framework with efficiency. It's extremely powerful and it's ready for your brand customizations, both from a look and feel perspective, but also your unique brand story, which is content, video, and other assets. The whole idea is we can work through a content planning process that looks a lot like this with medium fidelity wireframes, but then eventually gets transformed into a beautiful site that meets the objectives of your particular project. So Web Accelerator for Storyblok, it's everything you want in a CMS solution, but without the complexity. After 4 years working on this platform, we know the best practices and we know how to configure this to help you move your solution forward quickly and effectively. We have a number of pre-built panels that are ready to use and ready to be styled into your brand and that are exceptionally easy to utilize when you're working on page editing. And you'll see that in a few minutes. And then finally, we have a lot of traditional CMS features that we have put into our solution that are actually not found that often in a headless CMS. These are things for managing your 301 redirects, alternate URLs, search index controls, even protected and role-based security. All of that's out of the box and oftentimes not found in a headless solution. And then our solution is accessibility ready. So our core code solution is WCAG AA, and then we provide methods with one of our partners for long-term governance of accessibility. What we want to do is help accelerate your success while lowering risk and cost. We want to cut dev time, often as much as 1 to 2 months. Our styling time, so that's the time it takes to go from design to production, can typically be dropped by about 75% or more. And then more importantly, you are future-proofed on that next website that you do. This may be the last time that you have to migrate all of that content from one platform to another, because once you're in a headless CMS, that content lives as content all on itself. And so it eliminates that need for migrations later on because all we need to do is restyle elements. Finally, it lowers risk because we can implement a tool that is not only fast, efficient, and secure, but it's a tool that's so easy to use that you're not going to have problems with people not wanting to learn it or use it. So you're going to get your full potential out of it. So let's take a demonstration of both Storyblok and our website accelerator solution. Okay, so before we jump into our demo, I just want to show you the site that we're going to be working our way through. So this is our sample site for our website accelerator, and it's simply an expression of kind of a genericized website that helps you understand how these controls come together to make what would look like a normal website. So you're going to see a lot of things like a hero panel. You're going to see grid panels, you're going to see a text and image panel, just the variety of different types of panels that you might see on any given website. And this is a fully functioning site, so it includes navigation. This is a really nice mega menu navigation that will take you to pages and so forth. We include this so that people have a good chance to kind of get an understanding of how these different elements can actually be used on a site. But we would never use this to start a site, just more of an example site. So let's jump into Storyblok and look at the editor. So when you are working with a headless content management system, you're actually working in the cloud. And so anytime you want to edit content, you're actually going to be logging into a cloud-based solution. So you want to go to storyblok.com, you're going to click login. And now I've been here before, so it recognizes me. And so what I see is a series of spaces. These are all of our different client sites that I have access. So we're going to click into our starter site space. Couple of quick things here. So we're on the dashboard, and the dashboard simply lets you know kind of some utilization of your particular space. So how many stories are in here, how many assets are in here, how many users, and so forth. A couple other quick things we'll take a look at. One is the content folder. And so this content area is where we're going to spend most of our time today. And the other one I want to call out is the asset library, which is all of the assets, visual or files that you want to store within Storyblok will go in your asset library. So jumping back to the content folder real quick. So this is a relatively small site. And so we have just a handful of pages, and then we have some folders. This is really important to understand. So unlike a lot of CMSs where you don't have a content tree, you can actually build the tree out any way you want. So lots and lots of flexibility to build your site out. But one of the things that adds some ultimate flexibility is a folder called globals. And we're going to come back to this in a little bit, but I want to show you it so it makes sense. So our header and footer are managed in a global folder. And so if you want to go in and edit, say, the site footer, you have one place to come in and edit those details. And then, you can jump back and do other things. Some other things that you find commonly that we want to use across a site are things like testimonials. So you might have, 3 or 4 testimonials that you want to toss into your website, or you might even have some calls to action. All of those things could be managed centrally so that you can use them as an object anywhere on the website. So it's a little bit about content reuse. And this is going to make a little bit more sense when we jump into the main part of the demo. So let me jump back to our main folder real quick. All right, we're going to take a look at the home page. And we're just going to do some page editing. We're going to talk a little bit about how a page is put together in Storyblok. So again, this is the home page we looked at earlier, but now we're in the editor window. So this window here on the left has live preview. So anytime we make changes to these objects, the changes are going to be displayed in real time. So there's no need to have a second window open anymore. And then over here on the right-hand side, this is where you actually control the individual elements of the page. So if I scroll over the hero panel, you'll see that that has a little green line top and bottom that tells you you're in that panel. Or if you're down in the the grid panel here, it'll do the same. The grid panel is lit up. So that just tells you kind of where you're at. Some other kind of cool things that you can do, you can actually look at the responsive nature of your site in real time. So you simply just drag this window down and it's going to resize and show you how your site and the content is actually responding to the breakpoints that have been set. Alternately, you can also give yourself a little more editing room over here on this page control area and do that as well. So let's talk about what is structured with every page. So there's a few core things that help you manage a page at kind of a page level. So on the general tab, these are all of the body of your page and also some major kind of just top level settings. So the type of content that it is. So this is general content, but then there's other types of content like blog, events, news. This type is what gets used in some of your search controls. There's also a story date, which helps for sorting and finding content by date. Additionally, if this is kind of a one of many, so think of like a news article, you might have a listing of this content. And so we allow you to have listing content. So descriptions and a thumbnail and all sorts of things like that. Generally speaking, though, our SEO and navigation, those are things, this is where we allow you to adjust titles and descriptions. We also have some more advanced features, so hiding things from breadcrumbs or excluding from sitemap or excluding this page from internal search, or even giving Google that information about not having robots follow the page and so forth. Or if this page eventually gets deprecated, you can put a redirect URL and move things along. I will tell you, these features right here are not included in almost anybody's headless CMS. So we have added these, and these are special to our website Accelerator. Additionally, we have a full permission structure worked into our entire solution. So if you have the ability to connect to an SSO, or we've created roles for you. You'll be able to say that this particular page requires authentication, and you can select the type of user or add a role so that you can kind of manage permissions on any given page. So let's jump in and look at some page editing. So first off, let's just edit this hero panel. So as I mentioned earlier with live preview, you can simply edit what you see. So we're going to just change some content over here, and we'll see that change right over here. It's pretty much that easy. If we want to change this button, we can go in here and we can make the button say whatever we want it to, right? So just really, really simple to edit all these kinds of things. And every single element is the same way. You simply select the element and you can edit the content right over here. So that's a pretty straightforward definition of a page. Okay, so now we're ready to create a new page. So we click the Create New Story, and then I'm going to give this a test page name. I'm going to hit Create. And as soon as this page is created, it's going to automatically include the header and footer that is part of the site styles. The only thing I need to do here is to add a story date. So we're going to select today and hit Apply. Now, all I need to do is start adding blocks. So when you're ready to add blocks to your page, you click this Add Block button. You'll see that an entire library of different elements will come up, and these are all the styled elements that are available for you to build content from. So I'm going to hit the Hero panel, kind of select into that, and then I'm going to grab some content off screen real quick. I'm going to throw that in place. And then we'll do a little bit of basic styling, give it a H1 and maybe a H4, a little bit different. And then let's add a picture to the right-hand side of that hero panel. All right. So that's pretty much our first panel, but let's go ahead and clean it up a little bit. I don't like the spacing. So let's go ahead and in the panel area, we're going to go ahead and change from medium spacing top and bottom, and we're just going to remove that, and that will tighten those up. So it's a nice tight spacing. The other thing I think I may want to do is add a button right here. So let's go ahead and click back in here, and let's go ahead and click this little Add Block button, and we can simply add a button widget. So that button widget appears there, and you can see it there. So we'll click on that, and we're just going to say, hello world. We can give it a link, and we'll link it to any page we want. And of course, we can have this open in a new window or not, whatever you want to do. And then there's all of those different button styles that we can change. Let's change this one to, actually, let's leave this one as our primary. All right. So now we're ready to add some other panels. So I'm going to save my work real quick. Okay, so we're ready to add a second panel. So I'm going to click on the Add block, and we're going to add a grid panel. So the grid panel has now been added. Let's add some grid elements. Let's tell it we want to have 4 elements in the row of my grid, and then we need to add an actual element to put in the grid. So let's click the Add block, and we are going to use the image text card, which is this image text card widget is a picture, a headline, a description, and a button. So we're going to click on that, and then we're going to click on that widget. In this one, we just simply add some pictures. Let's add this person's face. And then we will grab some copy for the description. We're going to add a headline right here. And then let's add a button. So we're going to say, see my bio right there, and we can link it to whatever page we want within the site. And then let's go ahead and set this button style instead of primary to a slightly different color to make it different than the one that's above. And that is pretty much it. So let's come back out. So as opposed to creating that, every single time, let's just simply copy this other widget. Hit copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. I must have missed copy and paste. And so now you see, as opposed to going in and selecting those elements every time, we can just simply copy and paste, and we get a bunch of them created all together. I'm going to go ahead and save my work. And then if we want to make any changes to one of these cards, say we go ahead and click on that particular widget, and we want to change that to a different person, we can simply change it to a different face, and we made that change. Go ahead and save it. All right, so let's go ahead and add just a basic text panel. So we'll click Add Block, and let's see, where is our text panel? Right here. So now we have a text panel. So that panel's been added here. I'm just going to copy some text in real fast. Paste that in here. Move some of this content in here. So let's go ahead and style our content a little bit. So let's make it an H2. And then maybe we make this, say, an H5. And then let's go ahead and make these bulleted lists. So you can kind of see how quickly this comes together. We'll bold these little guys right here. All right, looks pretty cool, huh? Let's go ahead and save our work. And then let's scroll up. So maybe I'm like, you know what? That's a lot of pictures right next to each other. We should have some copy in between those. So we can go back to the page and let's say, let's just move our text panel up. And so now we have the header, the text panel, and then this one, but it kind of feels like a lot of white space. So why don't we change the background text or color of this panel here? So we'll go to that panel. We're going to select the panel here and background. And then let's just change that background color to maybe like a light gray color. And that just makes it stand out just a little bit. Now there's a variety of colors that are going to be in our library. Obviously, when this has been customized to your site and your brand, all your brand colors and things that will be compliant are going to be included in your site. Just an example here. All right, so let's come back out and come back to the top of our page. Let's add our next panel, which I want to show you how you can add an inline video. And in this particular case, we're going to drop a YouTube video in. So we hit Add Block. And for this one, we're going to use a columns panel, just a simple, we'll just use a 2-column text panel for now. And so a column panel has has 2 columns. You can see the left and a right column. Let's go ahead and add some copy in our left panel. Put this copy up a little bit, and let's give this an H, say 3. And then let's go ahead and we want to add a video in this spot, right? So let's come over here and we can click this button. And there is a widget created specifically for YouTube. So this will allow you to embed a YouTube video pretty much anywhere you want. Oh, I added it to the wrong one. So hang on, let me delete that. Add that up here. Uh, So we're going to click on our YouTube embed widget, and I'm just going to plop some of the embed code right into that. And then we can have this play in a modal or not. And if you have a custom graphic that you want to use for a video, you can use that right here in the thumbnail, and that will show up. Or maybe it won't. All right, so now let's go ahead and create another panel that has a YouTube embed. So click the add block, and we have a special video and text panel. So I'm going to click the video and text panel. And this particular panel has two different subpanels to it. One is just about the text that is going to go onto this page or onto this panel. I'm going to go ahead and select that and copy that in here. And then let's say H3 on that. And then let's go ahead and add our YouTube. There's a variety of different video blocks that we actually enable. There's an HTML5, there's Vimeo, and there's YouTube. We're going to use YouTube. And so that YouTube embed has been dropped in there automatically. So let's go ahead and grab that YouTube embed code. And we'll click on the widget and drop that in there. Now, this comes with a kind of default background image or thumbnail image. But if you want to create a custom thumbnail for this, you can add that asset there. So for instance, if I had created an asset for my thumbnail, I could simply select it, and that's going to overlay. You can see it kind of change color as I hover over. So, but that's how easy that is. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. All right, so let's add another column. This time, okay, the next column we want to add is for a common use case of adding a conversion form to a page. So let's go ahead and add a block. And to organize this, let's go ahead and use a columns panel. So we do a two-column text panel. So that will give us just a simple right-left. Let's make our form go in on the left-hand side. So we're going to select left-hand. We're going to hit add block. And let's find our HubSpot embed widget. So we're going to drop that in there. Let's click on it. And there's just a couple things we need to provide it. So first is the portal ID. And then we do need to give it the actual form ID as well. So I'm going to copy that in there. And then you will see that automatically, here is our form coming in from HubSpot. And so if we want to add a little bit of instruction above that, we can style that any way we want. Complete the form. And then on this side, we might want to put something that explains the call to action that we're trying to get them to do. So let's copy that in here and let's give it some styling as well. So there's our form. Again, if we don't like the way that these are working together, we can always just sort of change the colors in the background to give some differentiation between our panels and have them start to kind of function a little bit better. All right, well, the other couple of common panels that we see on pages where we can leverage, if you remember those global folders we talked about, are testimonials and also for our global CTAs. So we also, again, have blocks that are created for those. So let's go ahead and add block, and let's add a testimonial in here. So we've got two different kinds of testimonials that we can do. One is a selectable testimonial panel. So you can go ahead and select on that. And what this is going to do is this actually is going to go to that folder that had all of the testimonials loaded, and it's going to preload all three that are sitting in that folder. So you can select which one that you want to have show up. So maybe it's not that one, it's this one, and it'll just automatically select from that library. Again, you can change background panel colors, really anything you want. We want this to have like a dark blue or maybe like navy. And say you want to change the font color on this from blue to white so it stands out a little bit more. So, again, you can change it here too. So all of these things can be changed at a pretty granular level because they're all individual elements. So I could change this other one here. Let's go ahead and change that one to white as well. So that's one way we can add a testimonial. The other way we can add a testimonial is simply adding it anywhere we want, and we don't have to use that folder. So let's say we do that further up on the page. Let's go ahead, maybe right after the text panel, let's hit add a block. There's a testimonial. Instead of using the selectable, let's just use a regular testimonial panel. And what this is going to do different is, as opposed to pulling in the testimony from a central folder, it's just going to allow us to create it right here. And I'm going to grab a photo. And that's another way to add that in there. So the last thing I'm going to show before we end for today is I'm going to add a CTA at the bottom of this page. So, all good pages need to end with a reach out and touch us. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to do a selectable CTA panel. So we're going to click on that. And again, we're going to click in this panel and it's going to go and it's going to select the two different one of the two different CTAs that were in our folder are available to us. So we had to get a demo or contact us today. Let's just leave it as contact us today. And we're going to be done with our editing. We'll hit save. And as soon as you are done with a page and you have approved, and this is what you want, you simply hit the publish button and that story is going to be published and available out on the web. Well, I hope that demonstration was helpful in seeing how Storyblok and our website Accelerator work together to help bring about a really great editor user experience. The last two features I want to go over are first, flexible menus. So natively built into our solution, we have three different types of navigation. One is going to be a single drop-down menu like you see in this screenshot. Secondly is going to be a slide out mega menu. And so you'll say roll over that certifications and you'll see things slide out to the right. And then finally is a multi-column menu that has the ability to create a little teaser copy. So these are three different navigation styles that we commonly see on websites. And so they've been built in. Now, clearly, they're all going to be customized to the style and brand of your organization, but the underlying structure is there for leveraging quickly. Finally, we have, because we are an API-based solution, we have the ability to choose best of breed. And best of breed in the search space is Algolia. And so we have some incredibly powerful search control fully integrated with our web accelerator. So if you enjoy searching on Amazon and trying to find products and faceting and filtering and things like that, you're going to be super glad. Where most CMSs do not ship with a very powerful search, ours is going to come with some amazing features. So first off, everything is going to be auto-indexed in the site. You can do one index or you can do multiple indexes. So that allows us that ability to look at different aspects of your site and search in different ways. Secondly, is everything's going to include progressive search and query suggestions. So this is where we actually tip into some AI. And so if other people have searched certain phrases, those are going to show up in that bar as well. And then also faceting by content type. So in the demo, we looked at how each page had a type. And so whether it be a blog or a post or an event or a regular page, with our search, we can actually allow you to go in and facet by those content types. And finally is we've got full filtering and taxonomy can be exposed here as well. So in the case of Extreme Ag, often there are people are looking at content based on the crop or the season that they are in, or the type of grower or the person that is actually produced the content. So lots of different options for filtering and sorting. Well, I want to thank you for taking a few minutes to look at our web accelerator. I look forward to talking with you in the future about potentially using the solution to bring about your next website. Have a great day.